in and week out. I think last year we were somewhat inconsistent, having good games here and bad games there, and saying we can't really put a streak together. I think we're going to be a lot more efficient this year as far as red zone. We had some red zone troubles. I think we're going to be a lot better in the red zone this year, and that's going to help us a lot more when we can get 7 points instead of 3.
They didn't bring anybody in. They talked about bringing in another receiver, but they didn't do it. What does it say about your group that you guys are all still intact?
We're a good group. We have guys that can come in and be counted on and make plays. When the time's needed. And I think the organization understands how close knit we are and how good we work together as a unit. And there wasn't any glaring need for outside forces to come in and play a part on this team.
What about you individually, Reggie? I said about the team. What did you learn? What did you learn about your game last year that you're going to elevate this year with? I'm coming in the game. I understand that I need to get off and start playing a little earlier. Have a couple good games earlier in the season, and hopefully that'll carry on to the latter part of the season. So I'm just gonna, do my same thing and go out there and try to play and do whatever the team needs of me, and hopefully that will kick me off a little earlier and we can get some wins early on in the season. What do you see out of Booker and these guys and some of the new additions?
Booker's a phenomenal guy. I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. He's quick back. Once you get the ball in his hands, it seems like he's going to be able to make a lot of people miss and make some big plays for us. And, we got Ashante and Chris Clemens, and those are all playmakers on the defensive side that are going to be very important for us. Because we're a good unit. Those guys only help us out even more. Especially on the defensive side. They're guys that can make plays and turn the game around at any moment.
I've noticed with you individually, some of your bigger games came when you got active early in the game. It sort of got you focused maybe. You maybe took the action then a little bit more. Is that something you're going to try to focus on a little bit more this year? Being a little more aggressive?
I'm in a position, I'm a receiver, I really can't sometimes control whether or not I get the ball or not. I just got to go out there and do my job. It would be nice to get a little action early off in the game, because you do get your bearings when you get a couple balls early on and get a feel for the game and don't have to wait till third and fourth quarters to actually see some sort of receiving action. So hopefully that's going to be a little different this year, but we'll just have to wait and see. I really don't know. We just weren't really clicking in the red zone last year and didn't seem to have the right plan for getting in the end zone. So I think everyone just needs to try to get on the same page as far as the players and the coaches or what we see on the field. We need to be able to translate that back to the coaches and let them know what we feel comfortable with in the red zone, what we feel like can work. So we just, I think the better we are at communicating with one another, as far as the players and the coaches, then the better we'll be in the red zone.
I don't know if you saw what Andy said at the end of OTA the other day, but some people interpreted it as sort of a challenge to you guys to come into camp in better shape. Did you happen to see that? Did you have any reaction to it?
Him saying that we need to come in? Well, I think we're a pretty good conditioned team. I haven't really seen us, lose games in fourth quarters where we're just, exhausted, and maybe he's just getting us ready for a really tough camp. I think that's what he's doing.
I think he's leading by example.
Yeah.
Stop.
Given the fact that camp is basically just right around the corner, how does that make you feel? I mean,
the season's coming up quick. This off season kind of flew by for me, so it is right around the corner, but I try not to think about it too much.
What do you do? What's a good time for you when you're not when you don't have to worry about training and all that stuff?
What do I do, or what's?
What do you do to stay loose but to still stay? I mean, in shape.
Oh well, working out is not a problem for me. That's just something I like to do, and I really try not to change up too much. Just keep to a regimen that I know is gonna produce effectiveness in me and getting in shape. So I don't stress about training camp too much. I'm a guy that's I've been running track practically my whole life, so running is not a trouble for me. It's not something I really worry about. It's just camp is a grueling aspect of the NFL, and especially with the Eagles and how Coach Reed does his training camps. It's pretty brutal, so you just try to get through, and really don't focus on it and dwell on it too much.
What is your off-season conditioning program? What does it consist of?
Mine?
Yes.
Running. Lots of running. And I try to try some new things, just different aspects of physical health, just maybe some not just the standard weight room type of thing, try some swimming, a little biking here and there, and just some what's the name of it when they jump on the buildings, and I can't remember the name, but they train with the elements. They're out climbing steps with their hands, and I try to do a little bit of that.
You going to Arizona for McNabb again, or how was his shoulder? Will that affect the receivers thrown with him?
I don't know. You have to talk to Donovan about that, but if it's on, I'm most likely going to be out there this year.
But it hasn't been finalized yet, like other years maybe. Because last year he didn't get to go out because of his knee, correct?
No. That's still when I didn't go out. I didn't go out last year. No.
Given that, I don't know if they told you this, but there are fans out there who've been there, I guess, since like last night.
What?
There are fans out there who have been waiting to get an autograph for like.
Are you serious?
No, I am serious. Does that freak you out? Like,
was this rock band? That's crazy. What?
How does that feel? Is that surreal knowing that there are people that are that crazy? Or
why do they spend the night? There's not even that many people out here.
They're on the outside. You'll see.
It's crazy.
You'll see.
Wow. That is a little surreal. That's
One more question, please.
I didn't know we were going to be a big hit like that. Wow.
One more question.
Feels good.
No more questions? Thanks, President.
How does that make you feel, though, the fact that there are that many fans? I mean, do you when you go to these things, what's your experience? Is it?
It's cool having the fans out there, and they're excited about meeting you, because I don't feel like I'm anything special. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just able to I can just run fast and catch football. And it's cool that people respect what you do and see some sort of value in it. And I appreciate all the fans. I love it, especially Philly fans. They're the greatest.
All right, cool.
At the end of the day, I think we all want to win the big game, and I think that's Lito's general feeling. If things don't work out and he's not removed from the situation, he's going to come in, he's going to perform. He's a playmaker, he's going to make plays.
So you see him here on campus, and that's not a question in your mind?
Anything is possible in this game. Some guys got released, I think, the other day or yesterday.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Some names was on that list that was kind of surprising. And you never know, but I imagine he will be here, and I hope he's here.
How often you talk to him?
I talk to him very often. Talked to him yesterday, and we playing a little golf together Monday.
Okay. I mean, this kind of impacts you, because they say that, okay, we're going to have all three guys on the field at the same time. Does it matter who starts from your perspective, or?
No, from my perspective, it doesn't matter who starts. But at the end of the day, the guys that's making plays on the football, it's going to be the guys that's on the field.
So this will all work out in the end, you hope?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Okay. You said you played golf on Monday.
Yeah, we're playing golf Monday.
What you shoot, or this coming Monday?
we playing golf this coming Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So in this time of year, what question are you tired of hearing or being asked the most right now?
I don't know, because I stay in South Carolina, to be honest with you. You know, what you got to realize, we do get the Lido question a lot, but that's all irrelevant, because if he's here, he's here. If he's not, he's not. I can't do anything about that.
But you seem to be the spokesperson for Lido right now. It seems like they go to, because you're outspoken, you're a team leader. They seem like they always come, and you're friends with them. You draft. It seems like they come to you a lot for that question too.
Well, they come to me a lot for that question, but if you notice, I haven't really been speaking for him.
No,
you know,
yeah.
you have to speak for he has to speak for himself. The only thing I'm saying is, I'm telling you from a realistic standpoint, there's nothing I can do or he can do. If they don't remove him or they don't trade him, if that doesn't work out, he's going to be a training camp. He's going to be a part of this football team, and he's a heck of a player. He's going to make plays, and that's just the honest truth about the answer.
Percentage-wise, how often do you have three corners on the field?
Probably 65-70%. It all depends on the team you're playing. You know, if you play a football team that's going to run the football a lot, then you don't need three guys on the football field. But if you're playing a football team that's going to spread it out three wides, if we was playing the Eagles, we play with three wides most of the game. So the corners would be on the field 80% of the game, 90% of the game.
How much of an adjustment is that for you to move in and play the slot corner?
Well, I've done that ever since I came to Philadelphia. And then we started having some injuries. In the last 2 years, I had to stay outside that corner. I think Joselio Hansen was the guy that went inside at nickel. When me, Lido, and Rod was together for a few years there, I still went in the slot and played the nickel slot. So none of that. Anywhere you put me on the football field, I think I can be productive. So that won't bother me.
What kind of read do you have on Asante and what he brings to the table?
I mean, I'm a guy, I really don't believe in practice players and none of that. I'm a guy, when you turn on the football film, if a guy makes plays, he's going to make plays for you on Sunday. He's made a lot of football plays on Sunday, so I'm imagining that's what he's going to do here in Philadelphia on game day.
If you guys are all together, all three of you, and you're in the slot, would that be a strength for you, do you think? You've played it the whole time, you're comfortable there. How good can you be at that spot?
It really doesn't matter. I get to blitz a lot. Earlier in my career, you know, I had a lot of sacks going on, things like that. And I was a little frustrated when they moved me outside and told me they wanted me to stay outside because I couldn't blitz and do some things like that. But I sucked it up and did what was best for the team at that time. And better believe if we're all together, then I imagine I'll be doing more blitzing and getting after the quarterback and doing some things like that in my game again.
And how good can this defense be then if you're all together?
Well, no one has ever won anything on paper. So I can't sit here and tell you how good we can be. We can discuss that after the season, because if we are together, then, I mean, we should put up some amazing numbers. But the reality is we've got to go out there and do that.
Let's discuss on paper 8-8 last year. What did you learn from last year that's going to help you for this year?
If you get injured, well, I've learned this every year. If you're getting injuries to key players that you depend on to make plays, the numbers are not going to be there you expect to see at the end of the year. You know, everybody wants to talk about turnovers. Dawkins going to give you 6 or 7 a year. He was hurt, I think. Lido Shepard's going to give you 5 or 6 a year. He was hurt, I think. So those guys alone, that's going to create 11 turnovers. But everybody wants to say we didn't have turnovers. But the guys that come in and play those positions behind those guys, sometimes you're so worried about not making a mistake, you don't think about creating a turnover. If I'm going to make a tackle, I'm just worried about just tackle the guy, not tackle the guy, knock the ball loose, and create a turnover. You know, all that comes with confidence and being on the field. And once guys get comfortable with doing that, that's when they start creating turnovers.
There's a big Studebaker convention coming here in August.
Right here.
You heard about this?
I did just now, actually.
Okay.
So I might try to get out to that.
Really? You might show up for that?
Yeah, if I can get out, I'd love to. Be a good chance to kind of see some of the cars, meet some people.
You'd still be like the Dalai Lama if you showed up at something.
I don't know about that. I'm sure there's people there that know a lot more about the company than I do, so it'd be fun to get out.
What about this upcoming season? What has surprised you the most about being in the NFL so far?
Well, I think it's just, you know, it's an adjustment. First of all, you're basically learning a new system, and it's kind of like going from high school to college plus some, you know, and, you know, there's a big playbook to learn, and the speed of the game is a lot faster, and you're stepping into a situation where you have to pick up things fast, and you have to study hard and put a lot of extra hours in besides just practice time to pick this stuff up. And so, you know, just being willing to do that, sitting in the hotel room and studying is something that you can make the jump, I think, if you're willing to put in those extra hours.
in my line of work, it's not always what I know, but who I know that gets me the job to start with.
Yeah.
You had the credential, the resume, but you had to use technology to sort of get yourself noticed a little bit, right? How much did YouTube play a factor, you think, in getting yourself some notoriety here?
You know, I don't know how much it actually it pushed something. I know it didn't hurt, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, I had the resume, the numbers looked good. I had an injury that didn't allow me to get the exposure that I wanted in the spring this year, and so we put a bunch of stuff on YouTube. My agent actually did all that work, and that was just a good opportunity for him. What we did is we just linked all those to some scouts and said, check these out on YouTube, and they checked them out. I know the front office for the Eagles looked at the videos right before they drafted me, and so the goal was to get one person to look at it, and it looks like, you know, several thousand people have looked at it, and who knows who's looking, and you know, that's the attitude we took in and just kind of jumped there.
What's the difference between being drafted and being an unsigned free agent, or a signed free agent, do you think, was those YouTube videos? I think Andy said he knew you before.
Yeah.
When that YouTube got out there, he thought, I better draft you so somebody else doesn't get it.
Well, yeah, the thing was, I think there was a lot of people interested, but I don't think, I had my pro day a week before the draft, and you know, we had limited time to get stuff out there, so instead of FedExing a bunch of DVDs all over the country, we just sent an email to every scout from every team, and you know, when you can, and I had a good day there at that pro day, so that really got my name out there and let people know that I was kind of back on the scene, recovered from my injury, and I don't know if that got me drafted or not, but like I said, it didn't hurt.
Camp's right around the corner. What have the veterans told you so far about an Andy Reid camp?
They say come in ready, you know, and they say it's hot out at Lehigh, and you know, Coach Reid said yesterday, just come in the best shape of your life and be ready to work, and so that's what I'm going to go out there. I have 4 weeks here to 4 or 5 weeks actually, I'm not sure exactly, but you know, you take advantage of this time. It's not a vacation right now. It's time to really kick it into high gear, and when camp comes, just be ready.
You feel prepared and ready?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
All right, one last question.
How do you like going out to these things? Have you done these things before, signing stuff for fans?
Not really.
No,
This would be number one for me.
Okay,
So,
all right.
it's a fun experience.
What do you think? What do you think of the? Well, where are you from originally?
I'm from Central Illinois.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
All right.
kind of like the scenery that's around here. A lot of farmland, stuff like that. Small towns.
All right.
But 1,000 miles west.
All right. So you're new then to the craziness of the Philly fans.
You know, yeah, they're it's a unique group out here. I hear the games are wild, and that I've actually heard that thousands of people show up for training camp. So coming from a small school, you don't really get the exposure to crazy fans that much, but I'm enjoying it. I hear a lot of good stories and keeps me entertained.
All right, guys, thanks.
Thank you.
Time starter. What did you learn from the year that's going to help you for another year here?
Well, I just, really learn how to prepare for each game. Being under Takeo and learning with him helped also. And just, you learn how long a season really is and how to take everybody on and off the field. So, it's not so much as, playing the game, but everything that's involved with it.
What about switching to another linebacker spot?
It seems like that's just the way it is with me, I guess. I've been doing that since I've been here, going back and forth. So nothing new. I started at Will, so it's not like I've never been there before. So, I feel like almost like I'm going home almost.
Any strengths do you play in that spot? I think your first year, when you middle of the year, you started doing that. You were really effective there.
Athleticism, intelligence, I guess. Being able to be in space, make a little more plays, pass rush, little things like that. Things that you can't really do at Mike because it's so clogged up on the inside. I guess that'll bode well for me.
What about as a team? What did you guys learn is going to help you for this season?
You can't wait until the end of the season really to turn it on in this league. It's almost like the whole season is almost like a playoff. It's not like basketball. You have 82 games and you have all year, but we only have 16 tries to get into the playoffs, which is the goal. So you have to start early and finish strong.
Just came through your mini camps. You guys, it's a young linebacking crew you got. What are you learning as you're sort of growing together? What are you seeing from the guys that are beside you?
I see a lot of potential, which potential is one of those things where it can go either way. But I think me, Chris, Takeo, not Takeo, but Stewart and Chris. I think we all have the right mentality as far as hard working and realizing that we reach that level of potential, then we can be a pretty good linebacker unit. and I think that's what we want to be.
Who's impressed you the most on defense?
No one guy stood out. I think I think Asante came in and did some good things early that as advertised, I guess. And I think just the whole unit as a whole. I think we'll be fast, we'll be young and agile, and with that combination, I think we'll be a pretty lethal defense.
With 3 potential starting cornerbacks out there, how good can this defense be?
I mean, that says it all. 3 Pro Bowl cornerbacks, you can't beat it. And I think New England's kind of made the game plan for a lot of teams. Go a lot more wide receivers and things like that. I mean, obviously linebackers are getting smaller and more quick now. You have to play in pass coverage a lot more. So, the more the better. So, if we can keep all 3 all year, I think that'll be good for us.
Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
No, right now. I actually asked Reggie. There's apparently there's some fans that have been out there since last night or previously.
Okay.
I mean, what's that? How's that make you feel knowing that there are fans that are that wild about the?
Well, I mean, that's Philadelphia for you, and I played ball at the University of Tennessee, so I'm kind of used to that. But coming to Philadelphia, they told me the fans were very passionate about the game, and I guess that just shows it. And I'm looking forward to meet everybody. Hopefully, I don't disappoint.
All right. Yeah. You guys got anything else? Do you enjoy going out and meeting fans?
Yeah, I do. I do appearances a lot. Actually, I do 2 or 3 a week in the off season, 1 during the season. So I enjoy meeting guys, hearing what they think. I like sports as much as the next guy. So whenever I can sit around and talk about it, it's always good for me.